Hi, my name is Lena. Welcome to my channel, and I'd like to show you my choice for the March of the Mammoth. It's an event that will take place at BookTube in March, and is being hosted by Jason from the channel Old Blues Chapter and Verse, Alex from the channel bigalbooks, and Lukash from the channel Totally Pretentious. And I believe that you should choose a book that you wanted to read, that you have been wanting to read, and have been postponing starting this book because it's over 800 pages long. So it's a mammoth of a book, hence the name of the readathon. And for me, it's Orlando Furioso. I have been wanting to read it for quite some time. I chose it as must-reads for 2019. And it's an epic Italian poem about a knight called Roland or Orlando. I have read a very short poem translated from French. It's a song of Roland about him, and from this poem I know that he was a nephew to the French king. He was, of course, a very well known knight, very famous knight. He was a nephew to the French king Charles, or Karl in Russian translation, and he died in Spain in rear guard of his uncle's army, protecting their retreat or their coming back to France. This story became very popular for some reason. It became very popular, and there were written epic poems based on the story, maybe slightly different from the story, but based on this character, like Orlando Innamorato, and like Orlando Furioso, and it was highly influential, those literary works. And for example, they are mentioned time and again. Roland himself, mentioned time and again in Don Quixote by Miguel de Cervantes. It's a translation from Spanish, and it qualifies for March of the Mammoth. It's over 800 pages long, sorry about that, and it's kind of a satire on chivalric romances. And what you need to know before you choose this book is that if you like plot-driven stories and adventure stories, plot-driven adventure stories, this book is not for you. If you like character-driven stories, this book might not be for you. But it's a satire. I love the sense of humor. Parts of it extremely funny. There are a lot of stories inside this story that are interesting, a bit cheesy, but interesting. The writing style is very, very good, very pleasant. But it took me somewhat 3 months to finish it. So you need to know that before you choose this book for March of the Mammoth. But I believe Rose from A Journey Through Books read it quite quickly and liked it much more than I did. So then, now I am going to show you the books from my library that I want to read and that are more than 800 pages long. of course, War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy qualifies. I believe one volume of it is more than 800 pages long. It's a story about several families in Russia. They are very different age-wise and social status-wise. They all have their own hopes, infatuations, dreams, problems. And then Napoleon invades Russia. So it's this kind of story. I believe it's a character-driven story. The characters are extremely good. The writing style is extremely good, but somewhat dated, because some words are became obsolete. I believe, I have a nagging suspicion that Steve Donoghue might do a much readathon based on this, based on War and Peace by Leo Tolstoy, and then it's going to be the end of me, because I would want to follow, and I'm not sure that I can manage to do this. So, then, a Russian contemporary novel that is set in Soviet Union, I believe, in later days of Soviet Union, in later years. And it's a book by Mariam Petrosyan, and it was translated into English, and the title is The Grey House. I will provide the link into info box. It qualifies, it's more than 800 pages long. But it kind of scares me away because it's a magical realism. And magical realism was the thing that spoiled for me the Luminaries. I do not remember the author, sorry guys, I will provide the link into info box. I was reading the Luminaries and I was enjoying it. I was making these parallels to Agatha Christie and her The Oriental Express. I was reading it as a detective novel, as a mystery. 12 people, one villain. So I kind of saw it as a parallel at first to The Oriental Express. And then I was getting all these background stories, all these, psychological background stories that were extremely interesting, and I was rejoicing. And at the end, it's a magical realism, baby. And I'm not sure that magical realism is my thing. I think I would have enjoyed it so much more, the Luminaries, I mean, if it had been a detective story, a mystery, without magical realism. So, it's a magical realism, and that what scares me away. And I have watched reviews, and many booktubers, Russian booktubers, chose it as their favorite book. One of their favorite books, sorry guys. And I know Steve Donoghue read it and liked it. He showed it in his The Darkness of Mordor videos. I heard that it's supposed to be about physically challenged children. Sorry, I forgot the politically correct term. Children with sorry guys, crippled children living in the orphanage, and that scares me away, big deal. But I want to read it, maybe just not in 2019. Then, believe it or not, Dune by Friend Herbert qualifies. In my edition, it's over 800 pages long. And it's a survival story. It's a sci-fi, a very good sci-fi, classic sci-fi. It builds a world for you, the entire world, with the balance of political powers, the intrigues. It's set on the planet Dune, so the planet where water is scarce and you need to look for it and save it, preserve it. It's a survival story, and it's a bit slow-paced and a bit dense. So if you like high-paced adventure stories, this book might be not for you. But the world is very well done. And the story is, in my opinion, gripping. So it qualifies. And then I think I want to show you some non-fiction. And it's Lives by Plutarch. It's over 800 pages long, and it's abridged version. An abridged version, I believe, the entire collection of Lives would have been probably 3 such volumes. But I don't think that such a book you read from cover to cover. You probably choose a person you are interested in, like you want to read the life of Alexander the Great, or the life of Julius Caesar, or the life of Pompey, and you read this part of the book. I don't suppose you read such books from cover to cover, but you can if you want, for the March of the Mammoths. And the last book, I have in paper is the landmark Herodotus, and it's over 800 pages long. It's extremely heavy, and Lukash and I plan to read it this summer. So I also have 2 e-books to show you that I want to read. I just don't know when I'm going to do it. And it's A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. Sorry guys. Sorry for my pronunciation. And I hope very much to read it with Sean, the book maniac. And another one is another book I have been wanting to read for quite some time. Sorry. And it's The Tale of Genji. Both of those books qualifies for this March of the Mammoth. Nevertheless, I have chosen Orlando Furioso because it's my must-read for 2019. And if you want to read it with me, I'd like to introduce you to do a buddy read with me. I was talking in the comment section to Fariba from the Medieval Reader. Fariba, I hope very much that you are not too busy to do it with me. Thank you for watching. Goodbye and happy reading.